Expect a mix of sun and clouds with afternoon drizzle and stray flakes on Friday. Good Thursday night, East Tennessee. David Aldrich, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, we hit a high temperature of only 46 degrees. It was a swing and a miss given the fact we had those stubborn clouds. They didn't want to budge. In most cases, they kind of hung around and may still be hanging around where you are, but low to mid 40s were more common given the cloud cover that persisted today. Our normal high, just for context, is 50, so we were actually below average at 4 o'clock when we hit the 46. Peak gust was 20. Record high goes back to 1967 and 1889 when we were at 69 degrees, and we were at 69 yesterday. But yesterday's record high was 73. Now, high temperatures did make it into the 50s where the sun popped out, like Chattanooga, 52. That's where I expect we would be. 49 in Nashville. It was 53 degrees today in Memphis, 52 in Charlotte. They were in the 60s down further south in the Carolinas. By the way, winter storm watch, just a little heads up for Friday afternoon. This does not include the valley. This is just for the Smokies. And you'll notice from the wording from the National Weather Service, very specific, 3 to 5 inches of snow, mainly above 2,500 feet. Knoxville is lucky to be about 900 feet above sea level, so you'd have to be more than twice as high in elevation to really participate in that 3 to 5 inch snow. And it's going to be locally up to 7 inches, I imagine, for the Mount LeConte and the Newfound Gaps, for example, with wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. That runs from tomorrow afternoon right through 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So if you're driving in those areas, be mindful. And oh yes, a winter weather advisory from the National Weather Service out of Jackson, Kentucky, has places like Bell County for 1 to 3 inches of snow, but they do point out that some rain should be expected to be mixed in there as well. And they think it's mainly above 1,500 feet for Harlan County and Bell County to participate. That runs from 10 a.m. Friday to 6 p.m. on Saturday. So meanwhile, we're looking as far as the weather is concerned. Lots of clouds in place. They'll be breaking up, so we'll find it scattered clouds, I think, for the overnight period, as we'll find a little bit of break in the cloud cover. But notice the ultimate Doppler radar. It's got the coloring from the winter weather advisory and the winter storm watch for the Smokies and for the higher terrain in Kentucky. Nothing to see now as we go back in time. You can see those advisories and watches being issued in time with the clock there. By the way, Marcos.com, a great place to go if you're looking for something to eat. Maybe you haven't had dinner. They do deliver, and they have locations in Hardin Valley and Farragut, Maryville, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge. They have locations in Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. They have a magnificent pizza for less than $10. Check them out. And the Pozzoli, I love it any time, but it's probably great for lunch too, is less than $6. The pepperoni and sausage is my favorite. When you do order it, make sure you get the dipping sauce of your choice. By the way, the radar showing, again, quiet weather in Tennessee, but the anticipation is that snowflakes will be flying around tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Most of the snow has covered the Great Lakes. And I'm thinking Columbus isn't too far away. There's some flakes in northwest Ohio, and they might be brushed by a few flakes long before this game is played on Saturday night. More on that forecast in just a few moments. But as we move toward the 8:30 hour tonight, we have picked up 3.92, almost 4 inches, and we average 5, so we're running a little bit above average month to date. And for the year, we're about 4 1/3 inches above normal, but it's that dryness we had in October. Keep in mind we had super soggy September thanks to Helene with 6 1/3 inches, but in the white arrows you can see we had only 0.08. That was the third driest October on record, so that really is, we're trying to make up for lost time. Now, how much snow are we going to see and who's going to see it? Again, some of the modeling will be different. There may very well be a difference between what falls and what sticks. And I suspect what you're going to see here is probably what may try to stick. Anything that's 0.1, well, that's just glorified flurries. And you can see by 5 o'clock, there's not a whole lot to see here. Now, surely we might get a few drops of rain, maybe a few stray flakes in the valley, but really it's going to be the concentration in the Smokies. So some of these models struggle to reach that kind of equilibrium between what falls and what sticks. This one's more aggressive. This one's trying to swing for the fences, and it shows you by the time we hit, say, Friday night, into Saturday morning, maybe we pick up more than an inch or two in the higher elevations. The Weather Service is convinced that 3 to 5 may be found in some of those higher peaks like Newfound Gap. By the way, the Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic has a brand new update. I don't know if you've had it allowed to update on your phone, but it's version 6.9.1. It now has 10 days, a 10-day forecast at your fingertips for virtually any location on the planet. 48 hours. That's 2 days of hour-by-hour data, improved satellite mapping, power outages, and the air quality alerts, plus the drought monitor, which, by the way, came out today. So if you have the app, make sure you check it out. It's got the power outages by county, It's got the power outages by state. So when there's a hurricane like we had with Helene, you can see who has lost power. But the new drought monitor has gotten progressively worse. And I will say this, if you're west of I-75, there's a good chance that you are now under an extreme drought. That's level 4 out of level 5 possibilities for drought. So it's getting really bad in some parts of East Tennessee. Again, download the app, you'll see the latest picture. The earth is tilted, as we know from middle school science class, at 23.5 degrees. The earth is tilted is what gives us our seasons, and yes, we can also say seasons greetings, as the winter solstice will be here at your doorstep on Saturday morning, precisely at one particular time, and that is 4:20 in the morning. That's when we say hello winter, and we say hello to the shortest day, longest night in the northern hemisphere. So this is one of those days where it's going to feel like, yeah, it's really kind of dreary. If you need sunlight, it's not the time of year for you. Go Vols, the big game, of course, is on Saturday night. It's prime time, my friend, and many of us will be watching ABC at that time. Go Big Orange, as both teams are 10-2. My concern, since really last weekend, has been mid-20s for kickoff. And if it's in the mid-20s, we end the fourth quarter at about 22, you've got wind chills with just a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind. It doesn't have to move much. It makes it feel like it's in the mid-teens. And that's brutal for those of you who are in the stands and not moving. Now, if you're a player, you have the convenience of running up and down the field to stay warm, and you probably have your own methods of staying warm next to a heater on the sideline. But for fans in the stands, this might take a little bit of getting used to. This, of course, the Ohio Stadium expectation for Saturday night. Now, as far as tonight is concerned, it looks pretty quiet. Hopefully these clouds will break, and when they do, we're going to see tomorrow morning that front on our doorstep. It's going to help reinforce the cold air, so you can see some green right there in, say, Harlan County, so some drops mixing in, and then some snowflakes in blue try to move down into the Smokies. Really doesn't look like much, right? It looks like the horseshoe configuration with very little oomph, very little punch here out of the flakes. Now, we may see a few more flakes tomorrow night into Saturday morning, but all in all, it's going to be pretty much a whimper for most of us, unless you're in the higher elevations, and there are some that might be watching in those higher hills. By the way, high pressure comes in on Sunday. We got a beautiful sunny day, but it's colder. Both Saturday and Sunday should be in the lower 40s. I have moved us up to 41 for both Saturday as well as Sunday. By the way, as we get closer to Christmas, we'll talk about the possibility of precipitation. I think it's actually getting much improved in terms of that outlook. Future visibility, there could be some fog tomorrow morning. You could see some white areas here in the Cumberland County area, also maybe in parts of Scott County, Campbell County, but even still, it won't be too bad. Tonight, we're down to 35. I'll call it scattered clouds. It's really a partly to mostly cloudy night with some fog potential. Winds are going to be at 0 to 5. Tonight, we're down to 30 in Oneida. That's cold. How about 29 in Crossville? That's cold too, but should be around 33 for Morristown, as well as Talbot and White Pine. So Friday, as I got a little aggressive with my text there, sun and clouds are a good mix. You'll find some afternoon drizzle, maybe a stray flake. See how my flakes just kind of strayed off the page there. But winds 5 to 15. Southwest to start becoming westerly. And then a high temperature tomorrow should approach the low to mid 40s. There will be some exceptions. You may not get out of the upper 30s, sadly, if you're in Jamestown, Scott County, Oneida, Sunbright, and Crossville. Also around Lake Tansy, about 39 degrees tomorrow, but 48 for Newport is my expectation. And then as we moved into your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day in view. I've got a 41-degree high on Saturday and Sunday. Normal high is 50, so that would be about 9 degrees below normal. And the normal low is 33. I believe tomorrow it's 32. A 21-degree temperature on Sunday morning would be 11 degrees colder than average. That's the way things are going to be. And then lots of sunshine, though, Sunday, Monday, and then warming up into the upper 50s. It looks like the rain that was to come in on Christmas Day will be delayed. That's okay. Partly cloudy for Christmas, and then a few rain showers of about a 40% chance coming in on Thursday, also at 58 degrees. By the way, you can download all this information on the Captain Accurate Weather app. It's also convenient on your iPad as well. Make sure you download it. You get weather and traffic perfect together. Pete Michaels is the best traffic reporter in town, no doubt about that, and has been doing it since the 1970s. Very happy to have Pete on the app. Just search the 2 words, Captain Accurate, at the App Store and Google Play. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.